What's going on, everybody here on YouTube? We're back with the HN 2008 1.8 liter Honda Civic with 243,000 miles. This happens to be the manual transmission variety. And the reason why we're making this video is to demonstrate how to take off the fuse panel and take it apart. Search for that missing link, the ELD. This is what it looks like, by the way. Electronic load detector. And how to replace it and get on with our lives. I did do a video of this in the past, and I kind of missed a bunch of steps on video and didn't really help people out, so I thought I'd make this video and help you guys out, you guys and you gals out, and get on with it. But by the way, how does this motor look? I mean, I just washed it, 243,000 miles, and just a great car. I mean, I travel 60 miles to work, 60 miles back. I put 120 miles on it a day, 5 days a week. And that's not including running to the store, running to Walmart, doing this, doing that, running errands. And my wife drives this over here, more reliable FJ Cruiser, which is fine. Save gas. Oh, by the way, yeah, I could save 39 miles a gallon. Come on, people. Love it, love it, love it. Great little car. It's got its quirks, but all in all, it's awesome. By the way, I just checked the valve lash on all the valves. They were a thousandths off on each one. It had been 43,000 miles since I bought the car. I don't know when it was done, but yeah, they were a thousandths off. The intake, I got it written right there to remind me. That's where that's supposed to be in the exhaust as well. Got all my little things around here. Plug gap, oil filter, even an oil filter number. Look at that. That's probably something real handy. Serpentine belt routing. You never know when you don't have internet and you really need to change out a serpentine belt. And by the way, do yourself a favor and go online to Auto Genius, type in your year, make, and model, and they will give you a schematic of your fuse box. And each fuse is numbered, and it tells you what size fuse you need. Even for the one that's up under the dash. Pretty neat, right? You just keep that with you because you never know when you never know. So let's get on with the video, and we're going to go ahead and take this sucker out, show you how to change out the ELD, and then do a reinstall. Alright, so basically you can disassemble the entire vehicle with a 10mm socket. But for, yeah, okay, they are 10. I thought they were 12. So we're going to take off the three 10mm bolts here that's on the that's holding the ECU onto its mounting bracket. So there's going to be 3 clips right there that hold this ECU on. All you need to do is, there's a little tab right there. You push that down, and while it's down, you take this long piece here and pull it this way. So let's see if I can push it down. There, just like that, see? Let me get the last one. Alright. Instead like that, you take your ECU and just punt it right across the parking lot. No, just kidding, just throw it on the table there. This is all coming back to me because I've done this before. So the next thing I need to do is get this loose, right? So there's a clip there, There's one there. There's one there. And there's probably one somewhere else. I'm just not seeing it. But it's already kind of loose. And there'll be wiring underneath it holding on to it. And they're held in by clips, and you just unclip it. So let's go ahead and do that. I think I need to disconnect these two, because that's what holds this power wire on. So I believe I'm going to do that next. And then the clips. Alright, so you're going to need to take an 8mm. Loosen those. And those were originally very tight. And I remember I put them back on tight. So be tight for a reason, because they are holding the electrics together. You don't want a short anywhere. So, if you're unaware, we just loosened these two bolts, and I'm thinking that's going to take, yeah, that's going to disconnect my positive wire. Yep, there it is. So now it's totally disconnected except for the wires that are underneath, which we'll get to those once we undo all these clips and bring it up. Yeah, that was a little bit of a bear to take apart, so it's going to be a lot of fun to put back together. So all it is, it's just a bottom cover that keeps the wires and plugs from being exposed to the elements. Now you see all the plugs are on the bottom. This whole panel that's plugged in through all these wires is right there. Let's bring you in. See that? Now you're going to have to unplug all these. Now, taking a picture of this will be pointless, because when you go to plug them back in, each plug has its own designation, meaning it will not fit in another plug hole. I remember that part because I did take a picture and I didn't need to. Each plug has its own size and shape, and so there's no way you can get them wrong. It's dummy proof. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug those right now. And this is a pinch and pull. You're going to get a bit of grease on your fingers. It's like, I don't know, it's just like a water repellent really. But that's what the bottom of the fuse panel looks like. Pretty simple. Now, as my hands are all still greasy and oily, you can see all the plugs and what they look like. At this time, if you would like, you can take a look and inspect the wires for rodent mishaps, or maybe someone went in there and did some splicing. I'll go back over it again with a flashlight, make sure there's no chafing, or, you know, this is the second time I've gone into this vehicle. It is 15 years old and there could be an issue, and I just want to make sure to catch it before it gets worse. So now we are departing from the vehicle and we're going straight over to the fuse panel. I remember I had to take all these out, or I did take all these out, but I don't think I needed to. So let's keep them in for now. But like I said, you're more than welcome to doing that. And I'll also strongly suggest that you go online. I think that's the website, Auto Genius, and they give you a good schematic that you can keep in your vehicle. And it tells you every single thing going on with every single, because these are numbered. You may not see it from here in the camera, but they are all numbered. And I've got more papers there, all the explanation of which one is supposed to go in what spot. So let me wipe my hands of all the oil and grease and we'll get back to taking this apart. So you've seen we take the top cover off, we take this bottom cover off, we unplugged everything, and here we are, and you're looking at it going, hey man, this thing doesn't open anymore. Yes it does. Yes it does. I just can't remember if I need to undo these screws or not, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do them now, because they might be screwed into the bottom, to the inside parts. So besides using a 10mm and an 8mm, we are now using a Phillips. Exciting. Now, so you don't see a crack or a line in here indicating that this right here is one piece, this and this. You would think there's a split somewhere right here where you have to separate it, and I don't see one. Okay. So I pried this one up and stuck that in there to keep it up. And you gotta keep working at it like that. See? It held it. Yeah. Yeah, it likes that. It likes that a lot. Keeps it stuck in there so it doesn't pop back in, so you work your way around. It's kind of like, you know, those things that don't like to come open. What are they called? That one loosened. It's like you need a whole bunch of flat blades, you know what I mean, to get in there, because they all work together. They're all working against you. You can't just unclip it and leave it be. All right, let's see. I need more flat blades. Alright. That's it. Alright, here's the top part. That's something to do with that metal there. Alright, there's the top part. That's what it looks like underneath. This, we're not doing any work to it. See this brown thing here? That is your ELD. That is your ELD right there. See how this metal goes through it? comes back out on the side. It's monitoring the voltage, amperage, whatever that's going through it, and dictating whether or not your alternator should charge or not charge. And so to take this out, that just comes right out. Boom, just like that. See? There is your ELD. Dun, 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 dun. Link in description where you can find this. That's it. If you want to stick around and watch me put everything back together, you're more than welcome to, but I think it's pretty boring, but that's where we're at. Alright, so as I'm looking at this, there was one screw when I got done putting this back together, back when I did the video last, I don't know if it was probably a year ago or whatever. When I got done putting it all back together, I found out, hey, I got a screw left over, and realized that I had missed somewhat, or could be a very critical screw, and it could be what's ailing my vehicle at the moment right now, where there's a no crank, no start. Typically, when the engine gets hot, I'm talking like I've seen it as low as 150 degrees, and no crank, no start. And you just gotta let it cool down, and it starts right back up. So, and I have no check engine light, no codes, no nothing. And I'm thinking it might be that screw. So let me show you one thing. So here it is. It's supposed to go on top like that, right? Now, watch real carefully right here where my thumb is. As I remove it, see there's a hole right there. You see it? See where my thumb is? Look again when I cover it. There's no screw hole on top, is there? There's one on bottom. Let's flip this around. That's where that screw goes into. Okay, so there's a hole right there. It screws from the bottom. If you notice, when I took this apart, I never undid that screw, because that's the screw I was missing. And it's supposed to screw into here on the bottom, and it holds the metal together, creating a contact. I'm thinking when this thing gets hot, that metal separates just enough and creates a gap in the voltage where it just doesn't have power. Just telling you, just putting it out there, because it's got new starter, and you know, if the starter's broken, it's not going to crank back up later, over and over and over the months. It's a brand new, and these starters on a manual transmission down here in this area where it's just hill country. Not many people drive manual, so it's rare to get a rebuilt, what I'm trying to say, at an auto parts store. When you turn in your core, you're going to get like brand spanking new, not rebuilt, because they don't have any cores to rebuild, what I'm trying to say. They're going to give you brand spanking new most of the time. That's what I did at AutoZone. I got one of those Duralast Golds, and it's great. No problem at all. I had a brand new alternator when I bought it, and a new battery, obviously, because the lady had the same problem with the ELD. So I fixed the ELD and didn't have the problem no more. But now I forgot to put in a screw that connects this metal to this metal, you know, and passes the circuitry. You know, when this thing gets hot, look how thin it is. That screw held these two pieces of metal together, and I made that mistake. So don't make that mistake. Remember, before you go trying to pry this apart, there's going to be a screw right there, the only screw. So, and I lost that screw. So what I'm gonna have to do is take this into my shop and find something that fits that, which I have a whole bucket of screws. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring them out here and see if I can squash that, and I bet you that's my problem. So let's go get some screws. Yep, that's gonna be the one right there. Awesome. Alright, so it sits in like so, and you're just gonna pop it through all those little clips all around. Make sure it's in all the way now. You know, move it around, flex it, pop it, push it, shake it. Now, see that little hole? That's the one I forgot. We're going to go ahead and fix that right now. Where's my little screw that I found? Right there. Now, if you own a 7th gen Civic, this is, I think, is on the passenger side in the front. And the ELD is just sitting right there on top. I think you undo some screws and it pops right out. Oh, okay. Now I know why these don't fit. They don't go in there. This connection is on those wires over there, so yeah, it happens. All the holes, they all look the same, you know. So let's go ahead and put this one back in, start doing them all. Alright, so as you're putting your fuse panel back in, you're going to notice there's a plug right here. And you're going to be like, what plugs into that? Nothing. At least on this manual transmission version, nothing plugs into that. I don't have a plug for that. I got 9 plugs and they're in their designated spot, and there's no other plug for that. So I don't know if that's going to be like that on yours. If that's a year thing, if that's a manual automatic transmission thing, but I don't have it. I do not have it. See it right there? There it is. It's empty. So, just to let you know. ECM cover. Don't forget the cap back on. There, it clips in. Battery mount. They used to be like this tall. I couldn't even get this thing over it, so I just chopped them down so I can use the same ratcheting. We're good. The thing's back together. Let's crank it up. Oh, one more thing. You're probably wondering, what is this? This is the crankcase vent that would go into your intake and blow oil all throughout your throttle body and intake and make it all oily and shit. The only thing that needs to go into the intake is air. So you take a hose, there's a neat little hole. Yep, there's a hole right there. And that will blow that ventilation down there. And the EPA people must be all flipping out right now. You know what, EPA? You can go suck it. Well, that concludes the disassembly, change out, and reassembly of the fuse box panel where the ELD goes into. You've seen it all. We did it together. I hope you liked the video. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, subscribe, and come back next week where we take this off a mountain cliff.